Game on, ladies! The grand final of the Division S qualifier in North America. Well, especially if you watch this on YouTube, you're probably a little bit confused about all the grand finals that we have lately, and the reason is simple. Every weekend we have a European and North American tournament right now where teams qualify for Division S Season 2, and I usually try and give you guys at least a look into the grand final to have a bit of an idea who has chances of playing in Division S next season, and that's now also true for North America. A little bit of NA coverage for everybody that follows the stream in the channel. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure that you give the video a thumbs up. Definitely helps to grow the channel, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. On the left side, Team Region with Porky on Whitemane, Funbuns on Sonya, Lupus on ETC, Carbon on Alarak, and Troy on Sylvanas. On the right side, Rewind with Ryokai on Lunara, Chaotic on Junkrat, Ghost Dunk on Blaze. Who do you think Oriel Fate play Diablo? And yes, this is one of the North American qualifiers, and if you have actually watched the videos over the last few days, then you know that there is a difference in the way that the European and the North American teams qualify for the next season of Division S. And the discrepancy, as we see Diablo die here, is easily explained. There are more teams out of the last division, the first Division S season, that in North America that said that they either disbanded or they didn't move away from Heroes, so there's a lot more slots open in the North American Division S division, which is why the qualifier is slightly different. Whereas in Europe you are accumulating points through every single qualifier, in North America if you win one of the tournaments you're automatically qualified for the second season of Division S. Long story short, this is the grand final. We're looking at a best of 3 series, and whichever team wins will be part of Division S Season 2 in North America. So, that's pretty much what we're going to get here. One of these two teams will play. Either it's going to be Region or Team Rewind. Now let's see, Fate in a bit of trouble. Needs to move out here. Slam build so far, by the way, on Sonya, just as we're going over a few talents and the setups that we see. We have a very melee-heavy setup for Team Region with 3 frontliners, including Alarak. Sylvanas, the main damage dealer from the backline, and, of course, a hero that will heavily increase their push potential if they are able to win the objective. Then again, looking over to the opponent, a very dominant setup when it comes to the position on the Shrine. The interesting parts here, which brings us a little bit away from the European meta, which we usually focus here on the channel, is that we have Lunara in play for Rewind, together with an Oriel. 2 heroes that you usually don't see in the European meta all that often. Oriel has made some appearances throughout the year, but only very rarely, mostly when she was paired up with Vala, for example. But Lunara pretty much was, I mean, she was a bit played, but not really a staple by any means. And Whitemane, as we're currently seeing her for the blue team, also a very infrequent customer in Heroes of the Storm matches on the European continent. So with this, we have on level 4 the Slam build continuing, actually. Shattered Ground after the Furious Blow. And Funbuns up at the top, going up against Ghost Dunk here at the beginning, but both of them will soon rotate down to the bottom of the map. Only one team with a camp, and nobody is sitting topside. That is a little bit of a problem. So if Team Region loses the Shrine fight, or if the Shrine fight in general gets just drawn out long enough, that top lane will get a lot of value for the red team. One of the reasons why you should always be diligent about taking those camps at the beginning of an objective, so that you get the added value, which is exactly what they're doing here. Once again, Lupus actually sliding in a little bit. The jet propulsion is missing, but it's 17 stacks against 8, and as visible at the top side, this has already pushed in, so this is going to do some work once that the next mini raid pushes through. Chattering Teeth, 29 against 14 stacks, still the look for the first kill in the team fight. Carbon already looking down at the bottom with another telekinesis against Fate, and Diablo gets pushed in but turns it around against Alarak. 38 stacks against 17, and the blue team with a successful grab on the first Punisher. Also at the top, ooh, Blaze goes down too. Oh, and they get the kill against Oriel. Nice jump here, and this is obviously a double problem, because not only is Sylvanas disabling the structures, as you could see, the jump got triggered in front of the gate, and that is pretty much something that shouldn't happen on this level of play. This is a pretty amateur problem that you oftentimes see when low-level teams or uncoordinated teams in the lower levels of Storm League are not able to bait a Punisher over the wall. And what that results in is a much tougher defense for the defending team, and as you can tell, they lose the fort immediately. So this is a huge setback here for Team Rewind, as we have 3 kills against 0 against the red team. And in addition to that, the value at the top side was very much so limited by the towers homing in onto the Shaman very quickly after the first minion wave went down. And so this camp hasn't done as much damage as it could have. It's always a little bit of a weird gamble, honestly. If the minion wave pushes through fast enough, then the priority is going to be a bit different, but the blue team got lucky in this case because the camp or the towers focuses the Shaman pretty quickly. But as it stands with the bottom fort gone, we still have a half-level lead now for Team Region with 3 kills against 0. They're off to a good start. And we also have another setup. Chokin Pollen is a talent that has been quite popular on Lunara on level 7. Europe is very much so set on the Splintered Spear, and for good reason. But in the North American region, this was always one of the preferred talents, the Chokin Pollen, on Lunara on level 7. Personally, I think it's really Splintered Spear, but obviously there is a bit of a bias, as 90% of the matches that I commentate are from Europe. And Europe has won everything against North America in the last 4 years, so yeah, there's that. Never won a BlizzCon though, but a mid-season brawl, so there's that. In HGC times. Live funnel on level 7, and well, with this, a little bit more pushing through the bottom of the map, as we currently have Lunara trying to defend here. Level 10 abilities could easily turn things around a little bit for them, because the increased damage output of Lunara with level 10 is going to help them. Oriel, by the way, has obviously been changed a while ago, so for her it's now more beneficial to actively participate in any kind of battle for the Hope Regeneration. She's not as dependent anymore on a battery as we've seen in the past oftentimes. So we'll see. At the current time, we still actually have a pretty big push here from the blue team, as they're going for the second fort in the middle, and with level 10 abilities, the red team has no other choice than to retreat. They can't fight for this, and they know this too. So they make the tough choice. Oh, we have leap! No, we actually have leap. Holy fuck. They actually went leap. I can't believe it. Okay, we have leap. So yeah, Sonya is going to jump into that backline. He's going to try and have a bit of fun there, especially against Lulnara, who went leap herself. So in her case, it's the leaping strike. Also, in addition to that, the lightning breath. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit funny. 3 kills against 0, top side now. Another push against the fort, and only Blaze is currently defending this, and Blaze is getting murdered by Sonya. I mean, Sonya is absolutely crushing him at this point. Ghostang is sitting there and he's just taking it. 23,000 damage now by Sonya. That slam build is definitely doing wonders right now. And let's go. At this point, I'm just waiting for the push to against the fort. But look at experience. Again, very, very similar. Now we also have the camp taken over here. The experience gains, as you can see. The hero experience puts them ahead. In minions, they're actually behind, which is why the gap is not bigger than what you currently see here, especially since passive experience is obviously in favor of Team Region after they now took down 2 forts. But here we go, position is taken. Team Region at this point in a really good spot, have taken control over the shrine. White Mane is already rushing around there as ETC is trying to make sure that nobody is flanking the team and comes in from the side. But as it stands, the red team is realizing that they need to make a move, so they're aggressively pushing forward, trying to establish themselves on this spot. And so far, it doesn't really work out too well. 27 stacks against 4, that's not really a big indication for them. Here comes the arrow. Interesting move by Alarak. He goes down. 4-man mosh pit. It gets interrupted, but the fight is still raging on. A 5 versus 4, and all of a sudden the blue team is in trouble, and they're losing the second hero. Sylvanas is dead. 30 stacks against 7, and desperately we're seeing Region attempting to get at least the remaining stacks here. That doesn't seem to happen. They're going for fun buns. That's 4 heroes down, and just like that, Rewind takes 4 kills in a row and turns the momentum against their opponent, already ahead in experience right there. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is starting to look a little bit better for the red team. Off to a very shaky start, but now slowly beginning to turn things around. Question is just simply how far can they go with this? Very likely that they're going to pick up the Punisher. And there it is. Already Blaze is doing his job in the middle of the map, securing additional experience and pushing the lanes out. Up at the top, as you can tell, now the attempt to bait the Punisher over. There it is. Easily done. So now a much easier defense. The problem is Lupus for a moment. It's actually pushed into the rest of the team, but is able to slide away. Easy peasy. But here comes the push. Sonya is now at the bottom of the map. The Punisher jumps in again. This time connects with Sylvanas and the damage is there. But Diablo is outside of range and can't really do anything there. Alrighty. So, with this, there we have it. Quick kill against the 4. That's the first one that was taken down by Team Rewind. And the game is more or less even. I mean, there's a slight advantage in experience, but then again, we also have those 2 forts taken down. Sonya was trying to hide in the bush. That usually doesn't work that well. But there we go. Everybody's moving down to the bottom of the map again. And there's that damage output. Alright, experience globes just get ignored. Well, in this case, actually not really ignored. Blue team wasn't present. So, yeah. Makes obviously the rotations a little bit easier now between the 2 lanes, because even if you're not there as the minions get taken down, the globes will persist a bit longer, and that allows you to rotate in slightly later and still gather all of the experience that was lost. So that's definitely something that is going to make the life of a lot of the lower tier players a lot easier. You don't have to be that precise anymore with your rotation. There's a little bit more wiggle room that is now allowed through that change. Also a clear indication the change is not actually only cosmetic, but it's definitely changing balance too. 4 kills against 3. And top side, Blaze is still pushing down. A really good example of this. Actually picked up some of the experience that was still on the map here. When it comes to damage outputs, we are still looking at a Sonya that is rocking the numbers here. 29,000 puts her even ahead of Lunara, who's sitting at 24,000 with a leaping strike at this point. And, well, let's see. Once again, a push there through the middle. And it's a very heavy setup that already indicates we're going to see that battle over the next Punisher on the same level. But it's still a question if they're willing to fight for this one. Since both the teams are close to level 16, seems like Team Rewind in red is still slightly hesitant to actually engage into that fight, despite the fact that they could really take it, but obviously we have Lunara at the bottom of the map, so that makes it a bit awkward. Lunara, by the way, is also just freezing this out a little bit, as you can currently tell. So she's just sitting there, she's not really trying to get too much done. Spearing globes slowly shimmer away, she grabs everything that she can, plays this extremely safe, makes it difficult for the opponent also to catch that experience. They have to push in really deep if they want to. There's no real indication of Team Region being interested in that. Instead, they're just waiting for their own level 16, and both teams just now picked that up. But once the next objective is up, this could be or will be a very crucial fight, and it's going to happen around the mid lane, which means if the blue team takes the victory in that battle, they will likely take down the first keep of the game. Level 16 talent pretty much all the heroes, which also means that we have the giant slammer for Sonya, and her slam build so far has already done fantastic work, at least on the damage department. We, on the other hand, have now also the double stun setup for Diablo, and that's obviously always extremely crucial when you're playing on Infernal Shrines, since there are a lot of stun opportunities on the point itself. And the shrine is activating, and again the blue team with the earlier lead into the objective. They have the position, and they take the quick lead over their opponent as Diablo is slowly making his way forward, trying to set something up here, but it's not going to be too easy for him. They need to be a bit cautious with this. Red team is still trying to get some damage in. And I am still a little bit surprised that we don't have Lunara with the Thornwood Mines. It would have done a lot of work here. But still, a little more safety from the leaping strike. That's definitely true, especially if Sonya comes in. But there's the fight. White Mane with the ult. Mosh Pit comes in. And there it is. Toasty once again. Fade coming in with Lightning Breath. How do you like the blue team? Well done, please. Thank you. But it's actually 2 deaths against the red team that start the fight off, and that turns the kill count on its head again. 5 against 4, the lead on the objective and on the map for Team Region. And they're looking strong with this one. Actually looking quite powerful at this point. This is going to be another objective for them for sure, and Sonya is so confident in their ability to take this one that she immediately rotates topside and says like, don't worry boys, I got this. I'm going to push the lane out, I'm going to take the catapults down here. And then we can push through the mid lane and try and see what we can get. And so far, I mean, let's face it, they've done pretty great. 38,000 for Sonya. Her siege damage is also pretty notable, sitting at 110,000, so definitely a hero to watch out for. And in the middle of the map, Team Rewind, they have to bait this over. Need to bait that over. There's also already Ghost Dunk trying to pull that off. And they make it happen, but they make it happen pretty late, and he's even forced into a bunker because of this. Alarak gets attacked, goes straight in for the ult. Sonya is coming in. Ult also used for White Man. Oh! In comes Sonya, and, well, that's a stun connect, but, oh, the Punisher wants a piece of the action. Oriel saves Blaze for just a moment, but he dies regardless. And with 6 kills against 4, there might even be an opportunity for Team Region to take the lead in this best-of-3 series. But they're falling back for now. Or do they? The Punisher takes down Junkrat. Not really a love-hate relationship right there. That's pure hate that we just observed. Punisher takes down Junkrat. The rat is dead. Doesn't like Australians, apparently. And with that, we establish a really solid lead in structures, experience, and of course soon to be also in talents. I mean, right now we're looking at 19.5 against 18. That's going to be Storm talents for sure. 42,000 against 42,000, that's what we have on damage setup. But yeah, this is going to be more than a little bit tricky to get back into for Team Rewind. They are going to try, but real question is how. 130 stacks, by the way, on Sadism for Alarak on the baseline, which isn't too bad either. Again, the jump. Sonya may be a bit too aggressive here, but they're really trying to push the agenda. But Funbuns jumping in without any follow-up behind him was definitely taking a risk here. But saw an opportunity in Oriel and was trying to go for that. Not really working out. They're still pushing aggressively through the bottom of the map. And the strategy of the blue team is to just paint the map blue, as you can tell. They're going from camp to camp to camp to camp. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't really made any effort yet to steal this away too, but I think eventually it's going to happen. With Storm talents in their reach, why wouldn't they? It just makes sense. Scarlet Crusade on level 20, plus in addition, Ignore Pain. And for Alarak now also the Deadly Charge, so he's even a bit more mobile when he's trying to go into the backline to take down heroes like Junkrat, Lunara, or maybe even Oriel herself. Also, in this case, the Withering Barrage with the cooldown reduction on Sylvanas. But the camp is now taken as expected, and the only question that remains to be answered is, can they finish the game before the objective starts? Can they force a team fight? Take the battle there? Or do they just simply wait this out and say like, yeah, whatever, we're gonna wait for the Punisher at the top? Because I gotta say, it seems more and more likely that Team Rewind picks up Storm talents of their own by the time that the objective spawns. So Team Region would be well advised to actually start pushing this top lane really hard and make sure they get an advantage out of their Storm talents. They don't really want to fight on even talents with their opponent without having gotten anything out of this lead. And that's exactly what they're now trying to do. They have a double Shaman camp pushing through here together with Catapults. And with the help of Sylvanas, that should at least be keep. Here comes the Riptire as they're trying to take down the backline. Jump in. Funbuns is a little bit in trouble. Needs to be careful. The arrow from Sylvanas connects and saves Sonya for the time being. But there's a kill attempt against Diablo. The Aegis slows it down, but he is still going to fall. Nice ult also from Whitemane, keeping everybody alive here. Sonya comes in again, is looking for the kill against Lunara, but not quite successful. But with 2 keeps now taken down, this is just looking fantastic for Team Region. It is the grand final of the North American Division S qualifier, ladies and gentlemen. And whichever team wins the best of 3 series will get a slot in Division S Season 2. And right now, Region against Rewind is looking more and more as if the blue team might secure themselves a lead. But the game is not quite over yet. 2 keeps have been lost to the red team, but they're starting to move up towards the top, and this might very well be their last fight, to be honest with you. But if they can take it, they should at least get a keep, and maybe they can snowball it to even more. But they're already far behind on the minion stacks. Here comes Sonya, jumps in deep. Sonya's about to go down, but Lunara dies first. And Sonya gets actually pushed back by Junkrat a bit unintentionally. But that was a save for her. She's still sitting on the shrine. The Riptire comes through, but this is starting to turn from bad to worse for Team Rewind. They're about to lose the next hero. In comes the mosh pit. It's party time. Junkrat, hips don't lie. He goes down. So does Oriel. Ah, well, and Blaze, he is going to fall too. They're sliding him down, and that's the end of him. That's not only the end of those boys, but at the bottom of the map, the two catapults that we see here have already locked onto the keep. And as you can tell, this is doing really solid damage to this one too, especially with the next minion wave coming in. Diablo is getting attacked, and this is just lights out. That has to be it. Yes, that's a 5-man wipe right there. And Team Region is moving immediately onto the core on Infernal Shrines. This is going to be game. The 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series at the grand final of the Division S qualifier for Season 2 in North America. GG and well played as Team Region takes the lead in this best of 3 against Team Rewind. Game number 2, ladies. Battlefield of Eternity here at the grand final, and on the left side, Team Region with Porky on Ana. If he doesn't ride the money pick, then I honestly don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, with this name, you kind of have to. Lupus on Johanna, Funbuns on Orphea, Carbon on Hanzo, and Troy on Thrall. On the right side of the map, Ryokai with Reyna. Who do you think on Malfurion? Chaotic on Junkrat, Fate on Garrosh, and Ghost Dunk on Imperius. Alrighty, let's go. So Orphea is actually going up to the top laner, not Thrall, which pretty much means that he is part of the 4-man rotation, and therefore he goes into Crash Lightning. Now, as oftentimes discussed, Crash Lightning is usually, and rightfully so, called Trash Lightning, because it is a pretty shit talent if you can't stack it properly. It's honestly hot garbage, and Echo of Elements is then the better choice. But there are situations where it makes a lot of sense to go into Crash Lightning, and one of those situations is if you are playing on Battlefield of Eternity, and your Thrall is not playing the offlane, but part of the 4-man. And this is exactly the case here. Another example of this would be Volskaya Foundry, where you can make very similar plays. Normally that happens when you have a triple melee setup, but in this case, Orphea has taken towards the top side. And interestingly enough, she's actually going up against Junkrat here. So we have Imperius with us at the bottom of the map, who's traditionally the hero on the offlane too. So right now, the setup is ready again. And the blue team is in the lead, and if the blue team in this best of 3 takes another victory, they are qualified for the second season of Division S. And there's already a little bit of a poke of Thrall, gets the first 3 stacks together. Again, it is a pretty powerful talent if you can stack it, and as long as he pulls that off, he is going to have a lot of fun here. And especially when we're looking into the fights in the middle of the map, Thrall is going to be able to do a lot of that. So we'll see. But right now, as you can tell, there's already a little bit of a fight happening at the top side with Funbuns and Chaotic going full on up against each other. And yeah, makes this a little bit awkward. But also, I guess one of the reasons why we're currently seeing this is if you have a range damage dealer, then he can continuously poke against any kind of melee hero that is trying to collect those EXP globes. So that might definitely be one of the reasons here. But it's always a question of whether you have sustain or not. And we're going to keep an eye on those offlanes as the games start to tickle in the new patch. Because again, those Experian globes, really bit of a weird mechanic, one of those nobody asked for it changes, but Blizzard thought it was a great idea anyways. And we'll see how they play out in the long run. But still very, very awkward to see that, and a lot of heroes have obviously been hit hard. Asmodan has been quite useless ever since the patch, and is now... honestly, Asmodan is completely useless right now. Then again, granted, in the higher level play, Asmodan doesn't play a big role, so at least for that level of play, it doesn't matter. But anybody that is an Asmodan fan and has enjoyed soaking multiple lanes at a time with his globe pressure and his presence on the map is probably very heavily disappointed by how the hero plays out now with the new changes, since that is more or less a dead playstyle. But as it stands, we have a kill against 0. And now the opportunity to go straight in for the first objective. So everybody is starting to jump straight onto the red ones. Team Region has the lead. And the red team, they really need to do something about this. I mean, they're giving up the halftime show here. They're already about a level behind, and considering that they lost game 1, they really need to step up their game right now. if they don't, then that would be them losing out on an opportunity to make it into Division S for North America, and that would be a little bit weird. So I find it strange that they don't fight for this a little bit harder. At least at this point, we have them trying to secure the position, but nobody has moved over to the right side. I gotta admit that from a European perspective, the setup for them is a little bit weird. I mean, we don't have a Li Ming, for example, here. There's no Vala with an arrow build either. There's a lot of heroes that you traditionally see that do a lot of work onto the Immortal that we don't see from them. Instead, we actually have Exterminator as a level 1 talent on Reyna to make up for that, but I don't know if that's going to be working out for them in the long run. Europe has played with that a little bit, but never really fully committed to it, because other heroes then become just more impactful in that spot. But we have a kill and double kill against the red team with Malfurion and Imperius both going down. The blue team pays a price, and that's Sophia. Coffin Girl is dead, but so is Junkrat. So little Joker has been eliminated. Yeah, Reyna gets Hanzo'd, and that's a 5-man wipe as Johanna goes in and drops the Orc. So the red team completely wiped off the face of the earth, which means that right now Team Region is picking up a pretty nasty Immortal. That one is brutal. I mean, 6 kills against 1. You are about 1.5 levels nearly ahead, and you have also an Immortal to boot that has 85% shields roughly. I mean, that guy is a beast, and they're already pushing the bot lane even before that boy comes down. And with level 7 talents in their hands, that gives them another advantage over the opponent. You look over to Thrall, and that bastard is at 15 stacks. That's already half the quest completed. So Thrall, regardless of what's going on here, will secure himself some decent stacks, and this is getting really nasty. Troy, if this game continues, will have a very easy time to get a solid stack amount and eventually complete the quest, which means endless poke for the blue team. In the meantime, Orphea takes down Jimmy at the top lane, so that's another kill. Down here, the trouble continues too, as Fate is on the retreat. Without level 7 talents, there's little that can be done by Rewind, so they have to give up on the first fourth of the game. But that Immortal is even doing a bit more here, so this is getting slightly nasty. Rewind needs to do something. They need to step it up if they want to have a chance to force game 3 in this series. And obviously they're very interested in exactly that. But the top lane is a little bit Monka-esque. I mean, this is actually full-on Clown Fiesta. Can't spell Clown Fiesta without an A, I guess. But yeah, first of all, we have Orphea taking down, what was it, Junkrat at first? And then she took down Jimmy. Now she gets eliminated by Imperius. It's just like a back and forth that they're seeing here. Again, the jump. Down go Garrosh and Jimmy. Both of them eliminated. Anna eats the grenade but gets away. Junkrat isn't that lucky. The Moonfire kill against Anna as she re-engages with negative hit points. And Malfurion says, thank you very much, I got this. 4 heroes eliminated. That's 11 kills against 3. A 2-level lead around level 10 and an open keep as they're breaking through the wall. I don't think they can take the keep down. The death timers are just too low. That's the biggest problem the Team Region is just facing now. But they can at least get a bit of damage onto it, which is exactly what they're doing. So, very interesting game thus far. With level 10 now also another big factor, since Thrall has access to Earthquake again. Anna going straight into her own sniper kit. Training heavily with the Eye of Horus, who could have participated there a bit as well. But this is getting a bit nuts. Rewind needs a team win, a victory. They need a team fight win. If they don't get that, then it's gonna be difficult to impossible to get back into that. And look at Thrall. We are 7 minutes in and he is at 21 stacks. Just to put some perspective on it. There are games where you have on this map where you have Thralls completing Echo of Elements around the 5 to 6 minute marks. Oh, yep, I think we're North America. Yep, we are. And Jimmy got killed regardless. Dodged the arrow, but got killed there. Yeah, so despite the fact we have Thrall now with 21 stacks, which is actually pretty awesome for him. 18,000 damage against 20k. By the way, there's going to be at least one person that doesn't get the joke and is going to complain that he didn't look at Jimmy while he was dying. Which was pretty obvious on the minimap, but instead followed the arrow. Hashtag know your meme. But with level 10 abilities, at least in the hands of Team Rewind, they have a chance of fighting back now. And they need to use that. They really need to step it up. I mean, come on, boys. Arschbacken zusammen and let's go for it. That's the only thing that they can really do here. They need to show that they have some cojones and finally step up and, yeah, step up or shut up. That's the moment, ladies and gentlemen. There's the taunt and there's the kill. That's what I want to see. Nicely done. 1 kill and let's go. Do we get game number 3 or not? That's the question. And Team Rewind has apparently rediscovered their fighting spirit as they're making a couple of moves here. Yeah, that was needed. They were looking for it and, yeah, they found it. It's one of those moments where it seemed like Orphea had their balls hidden in her coffin, but then when they took her down, they found them again, and all of a sudden they're stepping it up a little bit and trying to actually fight for these objectives, which is quite refreshing from what we've seen so far, because up to this point, this was pretty much a one-team show. And it seems to continue, actually. There was a sliver of hope for a moment for Team Rewind, but it's already getting extinguished as Malfurion and Garrosh get wrecked again. Now they're turning their attention onto Jimmy once more. And Jimmy is down. That's the 5th death against the auto attacker. And they are getting absolutely destroyed. Bot lane still open. Death timers are still an absolute joke. So it's difficult for them to take the keep down. But they're definitely trying to. And they're moving in for it now. A little bit more poke and then realizing like, actually, they're all back. So I guess we have to retreat. Yeah, we can't do too much here. But the Immortal is taken. That's the important part. You deny it to the opponent, you get it for yourself. They have it moving through the top lane. Ana already going straight in for the sleeping dart. That one at least did work. But Thrall's its top side. I was just saying, boys, I got this. Keep busy. Keep busy. I'm gonna make this happen. Okay, so with this, we have Thrall starting to push that through, eating a little bit of damage in the process as well. But the fight at the bottom of the map continues. Johanna... that didn't really do too much. Zone them out maybe a little bit. But they're still keeping them busy. And that's all that Thrall needs. Thrall actually joins the fight and they just leave the top lane to the Immortal, who's getting mad value. There's the flip and the taunt. Fate in trouble. Riptide comes in. Doesn't really take a kill. Blessed Shield used against Malfurion as they're slowing him down. But they cannot secure another kill. The Immortal is already sitting straight in the range of those towers. Has taken the first one down and is continuing with the gate itself. But there's heavy pressure now from Team Region as they are hoping for a quick 2-0 victory in the best of 3 to secure themselves a spot in Division S Season 2. Already starting to move for the bot lane as Jimmy with the Exterminator on level 1 has moved topside to deal with the Immortal and is about to finally take it down. But both of the keeps are now roughly at half health. Both of them. There's so much pressure here from Team Region. They haven't taken one of the inner circle structures down yet, but they've damaged both. That's a bad sign. And guys, we still have a talent lead for Team Region. There's still a talent ahead. Recall the flanking Reyna is trying to make a play here. Yeah, I always thought that Jimmy was... Oh, another arrow straight to North America. Just as we have Garrosh dying at the bottom of the map, and he's not the only one. Imperius goes down too, the Blessed Shield connects! And that's a kill against Jimmy. 3 down, and the fort, or the keep, follows. And even the topside keep is under pressure because of the catapult. Who do you think is trying to make a bit of a play and at least save that? But it's going to be in vain since the core itself is already getting attacked. And that's a bit of a problem. Death timers are still low. Maybe they can defend for now. Should at least take a little bit of damage. Furion is dead. And with him, Thrall gets bounced and dies. He's sitting at 31,000 damage, but has not completed the talent yet. Fate is about to be eliminated, but survives. But Jimmy doesn't. And the fight for the core is still raging on, but the shields are already regenerating right here. A quick combo. And that's... Johanna and Hanzo haven't died yet. The two of them, the only one who haven't fallen yet in this game. But as you can tell, the core is still kicking. So 16 is currently the point. 16 against 13 talents. Continuous poke still happening. Ana has already moved back, and for some reason these two thought that would be a great idea to stay a little bit longer. Fantastic idea! But now that we have that wraparound, both of them should actually die. There's the kill against Hanzo, and there's going to be a kill against Orphea. Not quite sure why they stayed. Honestly, I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know why they stayed when everybody else said, okay, we're leaving, boys. So your guess is as good as mine. 25 stacks for Thrall, and with the objective up on the map, as silly as it may sound, Rewind has a pretty good chance to at least win the halftime show, if not more. Good sleeping dart against Garrosh, made sure that he couldn't steal the camp away as he was trying to move in. But yeah, Johanna is pushing the top lane. Okay. Gets pinged here by our own team, apparently for the defense. And yeah, burns down the minion wave, so the top keep is going to be eliminated. But now that the halftime show is over, I think they need a little bit of assistance. Honestly, gotta say that she didn't need to stand by this long. All that she needed to do was take the minion wave down. Now Thrall is still engaging into the fight. 3 versus 5. Survives. I don't know what's more surprising, that he actually engaged into the fight or that he survived it. But now there's a full 5 versus 5, and that's something that the red team just simply can't deal with. The arrow actually connects. Jimmy's already down. That's the end of Imperius. Both of the keeps are gone. That's Garrosh also getting killed. And that's of course game. I mean, that's definitely game right here. And still chasing Malfurion. Half the team is moving down to the bottom of the map to deal with Junkrat. And there's even a connect as Carbon starts to go dish out more damage. And, well, Malfurion finally falls topside. But obviously the conclusion is that Team Region qualifies against Team Rewinds for Division S Season 2 in North America with an easy 2-0 victory. And the final map being Battlefield of Eternity. Well played. They take down all of the keeps. They win the team fight around the objective, and then they carry the momentum towards the core to end it once and for all. GG and well played as Team Region qualifies for Division S Season 2 in North America. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.